Alright, so here we're continuing our investigation by connecting these subtraction problems to the clock model. And again, before I start, this is a string, so each equation is somehow connected to another part of the string. They all have some relationship to each other. In other words, one step can really help another. So before I go on, you might want to pause and try to solve these yourself and look for any patterns between each expression. Now, when I start, I see a half minus a third. I think 30 minutes minus 20 minutes, which is 10 minutes, or 10 out of 60, which is 1/6. And that brings us to right here. We have a 1/6, so we can think about that sixth here as 10 minutes. We're taking that away from a third, which we already established is 20 minutes. If I'm moving too fast here, think how a half, I just look at the clock. I see halfway was 30 minutes. A third of the way, I look at 20 minutes. And a sixth of a way, I think 10 minutes, right? Because 10 minutes goes into an hour 6 times. And that gives us, again, 10 minutes out of 60, which is the same answer, 1/6. So taking a sixth from a third is the same as taking a third from a half. Isn't that fun? So now we have 2/3 minus a half. Well, we already established that 1/3 is 20 minutes, so 2/3 has to be 40 minutes, right? That's 40 minutes minus half an hour, which is 30. And look at that, we're still going back to 10 out of 60, which is 1/6. I like this string. So these are all the same. Now we have a third taken from 3/4. Well, a quarter of an hour, we haven't said it yet, but you know, if we cut this clock into 4 pizza pieces, each piece is a quarter. And look how many minutes that is. Each piece is 15 minutes. So that means that 3 of those pieces brings us to 1, 2, 3, 45 minutes right here. So it's 45 minutes minus 20 minutes, right? Because the third is 20. And that brings us to 25 out of 60. We can reduce that. Dividing both numerator and denominator by 5, we get 5 out of 12. So now we recognize that. So 5/12 is 25 minutes. Okay, now we have 3/4 again. But this time we're taking 2/3 away. So now we just know it's 45 minus 2/3, which is 40. That gives us 5 out of 60. Simplify that by dividing by 5, we get 1 out of 12. So 5 minutes is 1/12. And that makes sense. You can check that. If 5 minutes is 1/12, then 5/12 should be 25 out of 60. Last but not least, we have 5/6 minus a fourth. Well, here's a sixth. In the first 3, we established that 1/6 is 10 minutes. So 5/6 is 50 minutes minus a quarter of an hour, which is 15. And that leaves me with 35 minutes out of 60. Simplify by dividing by 5 again, and we get 7/12. Cool. So we started with sixths and we ended with 12ths. Hope that one helped.